Today, I'd like to lay a better foundation for long-term progress in this world. The sun is rising on a fresh day here in Minecraft Exploration and Tactics with Brian. And I was thinking about it, farming in this game can take an awfully long time. And I want to get some sugarcane, some reeds, starting to really farm up. I planted a few in the previous episode. But I want to get these going, and I want to get a wheat farm going, because having plenty of wheat to be able to breed, plenty of cows for steak and leather, as well as plenty of reeds, so that eventually I'll be able to make lots of books, and possibly maps are going to be important things to do. Ooh, I picked up a red flower. I got another item. Hooray. So those are a couple of things that I want to get started, and I don't know that all of that kind of stuff is going to be terribly interesting on camera. I'd also like to flatten out some of the land over here a bit better and figure out exactly where I want to put in the wheat farm and pen in some cows. So I think perhaps, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do the editing yet, but perhaps there'll be a montage, maybe there'll be music, maybe there'll be some cuts. I expect that there will also be some segments where I'm getting more items. For example, if I want to start tilling the soil, why not make one of these? Got a wooden hoe in order to get another item. So those are various things that I'm thinking about, but let me try to plan this out and make some progress, and you'll see what happens on the screen. Hey, there's another flower. The new hoeing sound is pretty decent. It sounds kind of like getting through the dirt and also a little bit of kind of, I don't know, wet kind of sound associated with it as well. Hey, that's my first sapling. Apparently I didn't... That's right, I tried to chop down this big tall tree. Let's get rid of this guy. Oh, hey, an apple. That's a nice little bonus. Oh, and apparently I hadn't chopped down a birch tree yet either. As I'm just kind of clearing some space here. Okay, here is... Is that the last log that I left in that original giant oak tree? Hopefully it is. Interesting, I just finished using up the wooden hoe, and there was no tool breaking sound for the tool being completely depleted. Not sure if that's a bug or not. There's a birch sapling, and I'd like to make some fences to start breeding in some cows, or penning them in so that I can breed them. And so I guess let's go ahead and make some birch planks. And, you know, they changed the recipes for fence post at one point. I don't remember exactly how it goes. Is it like this? That's how you make the fence gate. I guess I will make one of those. And then maybe, is it the other way around for the... Yeah, for the fences themselves. Alright, so I'll do some of that. And as this day winds down, I had a bunch of bricks that I'd cooked up previously. And I think the only thing you can do with them is turn them into bricks and then turn those bricks into things like slabs and staircases. And I can't think of any other brick blocks that I could make right now. But I'm kind of interested in kind of checking off a lot of easy blocks, mostly because of the fact that the more blocks I get checked off, the fewer command blocks are running, because it turns off the repeating command block that's checking every 20th of a second to see if I have the item, and so I imagine over time it will kind of reduce any of the potential lag or tick lag that's being caused by the command blocks, and so getting a few out of the way early could help the series in the long term. In any case, the sun is going down, so I'm going to sleep away the night. There is a bug that's been in the game for a long time. So if I right-click on the bed, well, unfortunately, it's too late now. It would say you can only sleep at night if I'm standing here, But then once you can sleep, I'm too far away to actually get into the bed, and so you have to get closer to actually sleep in the bed. And so like the distance to check if you can sleep is farther away reach than the distance to actually get into the bed, which I don't know that it's necessarily a bug, but I always found it kind of annoying that you'd be right-clicking, right-clicking, right-clicking. You can only sleep at night, you can only sleep at night, you can only sleep at night. And then you just stop getting the message, unless you walk closer to the bed, in which case then you can actually get into the bed. It's a little bit weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who's bothered by that. Continuing on. I'm continuing to work on farming work. I do have some bones, and I would like to... Oh, bone meal is dye color white. And so I will go ahead and accelerate some of this. Hey, it's my first wheat. Great. In order to get a few pieces of wheat so that I can go try to breed up my first couple of cows, assuming there are still a couple of cows around. And also just give me a few more seeds that I can go ahead and replant to get this thing going. A number of people have asked me on both episodes if they could download this kind of world map, world schematic or whatever. And I think I've mentioned it before, but basically the version I have here has a number of bugs. I think there were 7 different bugs, and most of them are relatively minor. There's things like the fact that we picked up a bow, but because it has a damage value, it's not registering. And so I'm not going to worry about that too much. There were 2 beds up here. The dragon head is missing, so I'm going to have to install that as an item that you can get in survival, because you can get that from the crazy flying boats in the end cities in the end dimension. I think is the only block that I know that I'm missing. But basically, I've made some changes, and I made a new version, and I handed it off to a friend of mine, who some of you may know from Minecraft Bingo stuff. Oops. This is not the best terrain right around where I live, where I've set up shop, and so I may end up kind of like filling in some of these holes to the surface caves, because there's a little too much parkour happening over here. I gave a fresh copy of the map after I fixed a bunch of bugs to my friend Obe, who has done some Minecraft testing for me before, and who wanted to play the map, and so hopefully... Well, that was weird. He like walked out for just a second. So like he got disinterested. Alright, that's right. You just stay here. This is not the best. Oops. Right, you can just jump out of that. Okay, let's... Alright, I've always thought that watching people try to pen in animals and get animals to do the things they wanted to do is one of the most frustrating things you could possibly watch someone do in Minecraft, and so I'm going to spare you guys of that, but I'm going to see if I can find a second cow and get 2 cows into this little pen just to get things started. Hey! Red flower! I guess is the name, and there's a bunch of different variants, one of which is the Oxeye Daisy, and so apparently that's the first time I picked up one of these. I remember I killed the cow right near the base, and I was thinking that there were more cows around, but right now I'm only seeing that 1 cow, and so I'm kind of regretting having killed the cow before. In any case, I was starting to say, and I realized I never finished, I'm basically kind of the alpha tester for this map or schematic or whatever, and so my friend Obe is going to be my beta tester. Ah, there is another cow over here. Terrific. So I'll try to get this guy going. And assuming that that goes well, or that I manage to fix up any more of the bugs... Alright, there's plenty of sheep around here. Oops! Right, with the sword I need to be careful, because I'll accidentally hit any other mobs who are in range. Should have been using the axe to try to kill the sheep there. So it would be single target damage only, and I wouldn't accidentally hit the cow. But Obe will be my beta tester, and hopefully discover if I've managed to fix up most of the other bugs. And if so, then I will actually kind of like release a download of this map for those of you who might not be good with command blocks in order to set all of this up, but would be interested in... A number of people, like I've seen on the comments of the previous videos, have actually done this just on their own for fun in Minecraft, tried to get 1 of every item, but it's really hard to keep track of which items you've gotten, and so having the command blocks to kind of like do the math for you or whatever is a very nice thing that hopefully people will enjoy. Alright, so these 2 guys can breed. I'm going to attempt to shut the fence gate door, and I believe now I have 3 cows in a pen. Alright, it is a tiny little pen, but that is a start. I'm going to put some torchlight around here to make it less likely. There's already a torch right in the center that, for example, a creeper's going to spawn in there. But with the very beginnings of both a wheat farm and a cow farm going. I feel decent about the foundations that we are setting up in terms of farming for the long term, for being able to do enchanting and different things. And so now I think the other thing that I really want to try to do this episode is to do some more caving, both to light up the caves around here, as well as try to get my first diamonds. You can only sleep at night. You can only sleep at night. You can only sleep at night. There we go. And right there, I can no longer get the message, but I have to walk closer in order to get into the bed. I want to increase the size of the wheat farm, so might as well give myself a new tool. I used up my shovel, just trying to barely flatten out a little bit of what's going on there, mostly so that I can craft an iron shovel, which is another new tool. I was interested in exploring, and so I've headed to the south of my base. The wheat farm is just kind of over there, just to kind of see a little bit of what's over in this direction. And it does look like there's actually a pretty big cave system entrance over here. And I do want to do some more caving. Darn it. Is there a way to silence Windows calendar notifications? Just kind of like toggle the audio on them very easily. If someone happens to be a Windows 10 expert and knows these things, let me know. Because I can easily silence Skype or Discord or other apps like that, but I never tried to play around with it on the calendar. In any case, that was a little reminder that just went off, but it looks like we have a big cave system here. And I think I might have just heard a witch, actually. So let's be kind of heads up and ready for that to happen. But yeah, I'm just going to light things up and see what we find. Here are some of my first monsters here in the caves. And that reminds me that I am playing on normal difficulty. And I think I started to talk about this, but got distracted in a previous episode. But basically, the reason that I'm choosing to play on normal rather than hard is that with 1.9 and me making a CTM map, I figure normal difficulty is what I want to balance around. And so pretty much all of the 1.9 play, as well as it's just kind of the default for Minecraft Bingo. And so all of the default playing that I've been doing has been on normal difficulty and 1.9, so that I can kind of like tune my own skills and responses to that difficulty level. Difficulty is one of those crazy things in Minecraft that when you turn it up or down, it really, well, especially normal Minecraft is not all that difficult or whatever, you know, just kind of fighting vanilla mobs and different things. Although the first time you play 1.9, it's definitely going to be a little bit different if you haven't played it before, due to the new combat mechanics. Skeletons, they're pretty clever. They might wreck you right at the beginning. Oh, hey, look at this! Our first dungeon of the Season of Exploration and Tactics. I'm going to light it up, and then I'm going to go, crap, try to hide back here, block with my shield. There we go. Get a hit on you. There we go. Ha! That's what I really wanted to do. Get the skeletons fighting each other. Alright, one of them died. I'm sure you're going to see me. There you go. Alright, I'm talking about how the skeletons are going to wreck you, and I'm standing right next to this guy, and he apparently lost track of me. Cool, this is our first dungeon. I also want to keep track of how many dungeons I find in Exploration and Tactics this season. Right, with new loot tables. And so, alright, we're going to get our first saddle and one of our first music discs. And our first piece of bread, I think, from all of this. So we'll get a few items right here. And I did hear it go off 3 times. Presumably my score just went up by 3 points. I didn't pay enough attention to that. And yeah, it put it all in the chat. Hey, look, a golden apple. Pumpkin seeds. Pretty sure that both of those will be new items. I currently have 84. That brought us up to 86. Okay, so the scoreboard is counting correctly, even if I get multiple items inside the same game tick. Mossy cobblestone, I believe, will be a new thing, so I'm going to bring this home. And this is a skeleton dungeon. That's actually a really nice find, because if I want an unlimited source of bones or arrows, I could choose to make a mob farm here. So that was a lucky find to get things started. I will, yeah, mine up the moss stone. Well, I guess moss stone, you can craft moss stone now, can't you? Out of like vines and cobblestone or something. So maybe I don't need to mine up the moss stone. In any case, I will remember that this is here. I'm going to put the coordinates up on the screen so that I have them. And continue to explore. As you may have just seen on the F3 snapshot screen, I am now on snapshot week, what is it? Week 07A, which came out early this week. And as a result, you may have noticed the mobs are looking in my direction once again, as opposed to just kind of looking off in random directions, which was a bug in the previous snapshot. And my inventory is actually getting rather full. I was mostly headed down here because I think we're getting pretty deep and we might get down to the lava layer and possibly be able to find ourselves some diamonds. I did see that I passed up some gold in the wall a little bit earlier, but I basically... Hello. Darn it, didn't manage to get the shield out in time to block. You have to have the shield kind of like prepared and facing the skeleton a moment before. I hear some lava. Started to say a moment before you want to block. If you want your block of the arrow to be successful. I see you hiding over there, creeper. Do you see me? Apparently not. Hey. Alright, there is some nice gunpowder for Brian. And apparently the lava that I hear must be a little ways over. Okay, the good news is we have an awesome cave system here. The bad news is my inventory is already nearly completely full. I do have a few things I could discard if I want to. Ooh, hey, lapis. That will be something new for us to pick up. A new color of dye. And also I can turn that into a lapis block. And so that'll be another new item that we can get. And this cave just goes and goes. Friendly bat is here to... I thought I just saw a lighting glitch just as I came around the corner. Maybe I'm making that up. It was something weird that I hadn't seen before. I thought the left side of the screen went black just for a moment. Alright, but I'm going to continue looking around here, see if I can find some diamonds and lava, and also go pick up the gold that I passed by before, hopefully. Oh, hello, all the creepers in the world. Maybe it's time for one of you guys to explode. Help me out with some of the others. Oh boy, do it again. There we go. Alright, is there one left? Or is that everybody? Crap. There we go. Trying to scroll over to my torches and not succeeding. Okay, here's some other gold. I can't remember if we got this previously. I think we did. Oh no, gold ore. Okay, that's my first one. So I will gather some of this. We'll be able to make gold blocks. We'll be able to make a clock. We'll be able to make powered rails. Yeah, this is a good cave system I found over here. It's kind of going off in all kinds of different directions. And the fact that we are early in this world and really haven't lit that many things up in other places, and perhaps it's nighttime right now. Like, I haven't encountered too many mobs inside these caves, and so it's been relatively easy going. And the fact that I've got a full suit of iron armor and a shield means that I don't expect to be in too much danger. Mostly in danger of running out of inventory space. Wow, look at this iron. Despite the fact that I very much enjoyed exploring that cave system, and the fact that it's nighttime, I think I am going to try to head back towards base. Oh, it looks like perhaps it's about to become the dawn. We happen to see an Enderman. I'm going to eventually have to start fighting those guys in earnest. Try to get some Ender Pearls for various things. Like an Ender Chest would be super useful. But I guess we need Silk Touch to really make it useful. I guess I don't need to worry about killing lots of spiders for any reason right now. Or skeletons. He's going to hit me in the back. Ouch. So we will just head back home. I can deal with my inventory management issues. Oh, skeleton. You were quite the shot. Look at you go. Wow. Did he swam faster than I am accustomed to mobs swimming. He managed to chase me like all the way across the river, and I find that very interesting. I wish that I'd been paying more attention to that. Okay, I need to not die. To this one skeleton. I was talking about how skeletons will wreck your day. Skeleton's gonna wreck my day if I'm not careful. Okay. Alright, there we go. Skeleton down. Brian eats food. Alright, that will help a lot. You saw that, right? I mean, I swam across the river, and I'm pretty sure it was the same skeleton who was hitting me the whole time. It could have been that there was one skeleton over there, and then a different skeleton found me over here. But it almost seemed like it was that one skeleton who went across the river. And it used to be the case that once mobs got in the water, they were very slow to be able to traverse across the water. And so I wonder if that's actually a change that has happened in the snapshots. I've not paid enough attention to that. Since I am back here and I have an opportunity... Oops. Oh, hey, spider eye. I'm not sure that I've picked that up before. And I don't need all the zombie flesh, so I'll go ahead and pick that up just to have it. And yeah, I want to tend to the wheat farm. Let me do a little bit of tending to base and manage some inventory, and then we'll go check out where we stand at the end of today's episode. It occurs to me as I'm coming over here to breed the cows again, I don't remember getting the repopulation achievement for breeding cows. And I think actually I might have been missing a lot of achievements. Let's see where I am in the achievements tree and see if I did something to block things up. Time to farm was taken. Let's see, time to strike, cow tipper, I see. I didn't actually manage to harvest any leather before repopulating, and so that's the reason that I didn't get that. And I do have a saddle now, and so I could try to ride a pig off of a cliff. All right. Well, the achievements aren't something that I'm explicitly going for necessarily, but I figured that they would be fun to track as well. Before I forget about it, I really want to... Even if it's just something tiny and ridiculous, I want to set up some kind of counter for keeping track of the different dungeons that we find in this world. And so far we have found one skeleton dungeon. And so I think the easiest thing to do might be just to set up a chest. And so the idea will be I'll put a chest, let's put it right over here for now. And basically I have found one skeleton dungeon, and so I will mark that it's a skeleton dungeon by putting a bone over here. So that could be like a zombie dungeon, and then string or a spider eye could be a spider dungeon. And I believe I have bones and a spider eye back in this chest when I was dumping things off as I was tending to the wheat farm. Yes, so let me bring these, actually, let me just bring one bone back. I'll leave the bones here in case I want to use them on the farm. And while I'm here, let me expand the reed farm really quick. Okay, but I can put a spider eye there and a bone there, and so far we have found one skeleton dungeon, 0 zombie dungeons, and 0 spider dungeons. And I have extra moss bone that I can use as just kind of like keeping count. So if I found 2 zombie dungeons, I would mark things like that. And that would be an easy way for me to kind of keep count of those things in game. And in the meantime, we do have a couple of new blocks that I could make because I've got gold and I've got lapis. So let's make a couple more blocks and then let's check out where we stand. Haha! Got a lapis block. Check out where we stand with regards to our overall block count. And at this point, I think it would be wise, except for I don't need to do that because I've got a chest right here in my inventory. It would be wise to expand this to a double chest, is what I was about to say, and drop off a few things that I don't need to be carrying around right now. We got one of the music discs, which is terrific. And then I want to cook up the gold. And we could make, I guess, a gold block, and we'd have it in our inventory, and then we could turn it back into gold ingots. And I guess I haven't found any redstone yet in this world, actually, come to think of it. So that's a lot of items that would be easy to craft for next time, but I guess they will have to last until next time. But I will go ahead and craft a gold block and do a little bit more tending to the farm, and then we'll count out the number of items that we have. And then I'll need to go and review. I'm recording this on Tuesday, and so the previous episode has been up for a few days, and many people have made a guess as to how many items I would have at the end of this episode. And so I'll go back and review the comments on the previous episode and see which person came closest to guessing the number of items that I have at the end of this episode, which looks like it's going to be in the mid-90s. There is an unexplored cave right here next to my base, and there's a skeleton in it. That is not acceptable, skeleton. This is my land now. I live here, not you. Alright, well, if we need more to explore, it sounds like there is more cave system down there with some more bad guys. So perhaps next time I need to go down deep, I will try right there. But let's go ahead and finish things up. Let's grab my 9 gold. Gold ingot is a new item. I will craft the gold into a gold block. That will be a new item. And then it just occurred to me, I guess, yeah, I've got 4 granite and 4 diorite. Can you make like smooth versions by doing this? Yes, polished. Polished diorite and polished granite are a couple of new blocks that I'm also able to pick up. And so I'm just knocking things out of the park right here. We're up to 95 items. at the end of today's episode. It's an inexact number because, for example, I've counted the bed twice. Eventually, if I get a black banner, it will count the banner. We're still not properly counting things with damage values, but that's okay. We're just going to roll with it. Eventually, I will put the dragon head up here, but I think most other things are mostly going to work, and we can fix up anything towards the end. But look at all the green we've managed to fill in. We've got, yeah, I guess almost a fifth of the items in the game that you can obtain using the counting method that I've got. So let me go check on the comments of the previous episode and see who today's winner is. It looks like the winner of the prediction contest this time goes to Megan Image, who guessed that I would have 93 items at the end of this episode, and I actually have 95. That was the closest one that I saw. So by all means, leave your guess for how many items I will have at the end of the next episode. And yeah, on the one hand, the further we get along, the more it's going to slow down. On the other hand, there's still some big batches of easy-to-get items that I haven't tried to craft, and who knows whether I'll decide to do that next episode. So it's always hard to predict what's going to happen, but in any case, I hope as always that you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again soon with more Minecraft exploration and tactics. Bye-bye!